Tonight, the Prime Minister says trade deal talks are getting intense, just 4 days from Trump's tariff deadline.
We will only sign a deal that's the right deal, that's a good deal for Canada.
The growing pressure and potential leverage for Canada. Auto thefts in Canada are finally going down.
Thieves are incredibly adaptive, resourceful, and high-tech, and they will use new techniques.
Why your insurance rates probably won't be dropping too. A grisly attack in British Columbia.
They came around kind of a blind corner, and they were right on those bears. The bears were on that trail.
How the couple just out for an e-bike ride survived.
From CBC News, this is The National with Asha Tomlinson.
Thanks for joining us. Adrian is away. This is supposed to be the week Canada locks in a trade deal with the U.S. to avoid Donald Trump's latest tariff threat. But signals that that deadline might come and go are getting stronger. The Prime Minister says negotiations are at an intense phase. That Friday deadline coming up fast. But Mark Carney's message to Canadians tonight is clear. He won't take a bad deal just to hit it. Trump is making deals right now just with other partners. Ashley Burke takes a look at where negotiations stand and the messages coming from premiers.
Intense, complex, tough. That's the Prime Minister's latest description of trade talks with the U.S.
The United States is looking out, the President's looking out for the interests of American workers. There is a landing zone that's possible, but we have to get there, and we'll see what happens.
He has until Friday to get there on Donald Trump's timeline. If not, Canada faces 35% tariffs on some goods. But Mark Carney says he isn't rushing into a bad deal.
We will only sign a deal that's the right deal, that's a good deal for Canada.
Welcome you, Mr. President.
Trump's focus right now is elsewhere. He met with the UK's Prime Minister, who already agreed to a deal with 10% tariffs.
We're going to be setting a tariff for essentially the rest of the world, and that's what they're going to pay if they want to do business in the United States. Because you can't sit down and make 200 deals, but we've made the big ones.
A big one announced Sunday.
I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Trump and the European Union will avoid an all-out trade war with a deal that includes 15% tariffs on European goods and a promise to buy $750 billion worth of American energy.
It will bring stability. It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic.
But many in Europe aren't celebrating, like this Italian winemaker.
This is already pretty bad. So if you ask me, I'm not very happy with 15% either, you know.
We're in a different position. Similarities, there are differences.
Asked if he would accept a similar deal, Carney says Ottawa has leverage because the U.S. buys so much Canadian oil.
Europe needs to fully get itself off Russian energy. So they're going to buy American energy to help them do that. America needs Canadian energy.
BC's premier says Canada shouldn't speed towards an agreement at any cost.
Hold out for the best deal, if there even is one to be had for Canadians. We can stand on our own 2 feet.
But at least one Canadian premier is urging the Prime Minister to strike back. Ontario's Doug Ford re-upping his call for Carney to retaliate with matching dollar-for-dollar tariffs on American steel and aluminum.
Ashley, what has Trump said about the chances of a deal with Canada?
Well, Asha, on Friday, he said he wasn't having a lot of luck with Canada, that his focus was on other countries, and that Canada might just have to take the tariffs. But Trump can change his mind on a dime. That same day, he said the chance for a deal with the EU was 50-50, and 2 days later, they had one.
Ashley Burke in Ottawa, thank you. The Prime Minister was on PEI to announce significant cuts to the price of tolls on the Confederation Bridge and ferry fares in eastern Canada.
If we're going to build a stronger, more united economy, and we are doing that, we are going to need to make it more affordable to travel around this country.
Starting August 1st, the cost of crossing the Confederation Bridge will fall to $20 from $50, and the cost of taking a ferry linking parts of Quebec, PEI, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland and Labrador will decrease by 50%. Vehicle thefts are declining right across Canada, and a new report shows Ontario and Quebec have seen the biggest drops. Thomas Dagg explains what's slowing thieves down and what it could mean for your insurance rate.
Using schemes that are now well rehearsed, thieves in Canada are still making off with a reported 5 stolen vehicles an hour.
Sorry, lady.
But that's far fewer than at the same time last year. According to a new insurance industry report, Ontario and Quebec are seeing the biggest drops, with auto thefts down by more than 20%.
So it's great, encouraging numbers, but still a lot of work to be done.
Equité Association credits police and governments for cracking down, and even drivers for using devices as simple as that old-fashioned steering wheel lock.
Thieves are incredibly adaptive, resourceful, and high-tech, and they will use new techniques.
Indeed, CBC News still found this 2021 Jeep Wrangler now advertised for sale in Dubai after it was reported stolen in Quebec. Experts also warn more stolen vehicles are being stripped for parts so they can't be recovered.
We're not just seeing the brand new vehicles that are being stolen. We're seeing the vehicles now that, 2018 to 2023, the trend is going there now because the security features aren't there.
At the height of Canada's auto theft crisis, insurance premiums soared. And just last month, TD Insurance pointed to a significant increase in auto thefts as it warned Ontario customers about more price adjustments to come.
I haven't heard anything from any of the insurance companies yet that with theft going down that they're going to readjust the rates. Nothing. I haven't heard up, down, anything.
The Insurance Bureau of Canada tells us steeper premiums aren't just due to auto theft, but also higher vehicle prices and repair costs. So in other words, although fewer cars are being reported stolen these days, that doesn't mean insurance prices will be going down anytime soon. Thomas Dagg, CBC News, Toronto.
Donald Trump is accelerating his deadline for Russia to reach a peace deal with Ukraine, saying he hasn't seen any progress. He's now giving Vladimir Putin 10 to 12 days.
There's no reason to wait. If you know what the answer is going to be, why wait? And it would be sanctions and maybe tariffs, secondary tariffs.
The initial 50-day deadline was set just 2 weeks ago. The change comes after Russia bombarded Ukraine with more than 300 drones and missiles overnight, some of them slamming into residential buildings. The U.S. president also acknowledged the hunger crisis in Gaza with vague promises on how to get food in. Aid drops are continuing, but as Nala Ayed shows us, humanitarian groups say it's not nearly enough.
Aid groups say they're a grotesque distraction, a drop in the ocean. But for the second day running, military planes over Gaza dropped aid from the sky. From the ground, their arrival is a welcome sight. If hazardous, they could literally kill. And it's not enough for the starvation of the Palestinian people, says Ahmed al-Silqawi. With growing international pressure to act, Israel said it would pause fighting daily in 3 areas to allow aid to flow. For the first time in months, it also allowed airdrops and released video to highlight its own. This humanitarian called airdrops a joke.
It excites diplomats and journalists because they're very photogenic, but they don't help families and aid workers to avert famine.
Israel has restricted the flow of aid since March, and aid groups say it will take hundreds of trucks a day to reverse the resulting mass starvation. On Sunday, Israel's prime minister denied the crisis, accusing Hamas of stealing aid.
What a bold-faced lie. There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
On Monday, the U.S. president disagreed.
I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it, and you can't fake that.
With ceasefire talks stalled, Donald Trump noted he also told Benjamin Netanyahu he may need a different way to bring the remaining 50 Israeli hostages, dead and alive, home. With the conflict ongoing, a ceasefire seems distant. But for world leaders, it seems it's also become urgent. Nala Ayed, CBC News, London.
Meanwhile, at the United Nations in New York, France is leading the push to recognize Palestinian statehood. 3 days of talks are underway, working toward a two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians. Rafi Boudjikanian has more on where Canada stands.
Excellencies, a high-stakes UN meeting with major challenges.
We know that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has endured for generations, defying hopes, defying diplomacy.
The talks about an Israel-Palestinian two-state solution pushed from last month now made more intense, with word France will recognize a state of Palestine as early as the UN General Assembly in September, the only G7 country to do so.
This moment demands political courage and resolve.
Canada taking the opportunity to announce $30 million for aid to be deployed once Israel opens the way, and another $10 million to help prepare the Palestinian Authority, which runs the occupied West Bank, to work towards statehood.
A workable Palestinian state needs legitimate, democratic governance that serves all Palestinian people.
At least two major players were not at the table in New York, the U.S. snubbing the conference, calling it unproductive. Israel also did not attend, saying the event is disconnected from reality and does not promote real solutions. Back at home, the Prime Minister was pressed on whether Canada would follow France's lead.
We've always supported, and we continue to support, the two-state solution with a free and viable Palestine living in peace and side by side in peace and security with Israel. We will work with the international community, work with others.
Still, pressure continues to build. A third of British MPs, including some senior cabinet ministers, are asking their Prime Minister to recognize a Palestinian state, while a handful of Liberal MPs in Canada are publicly pushing Carney on it. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
A New York City police officer is reportedly among at least 5 people dead after a shooting tonight at a Manhattan office building. Fire officials say the initial call came in around 6:30 this evening and sent crews rushing to the Park Avenue building, which houses the NFL, major financial firms, and the Consulate General of Ireland. American media is reporting that the lone gunman took his own life. Wildfires in Turkey have forced thousands of people from their homes, even as roads are closed and flights are canceled. Record high temperatures have made for tinderbox conditions, and the poor air quality is causing health problems in some regions. East of Turkey and Bulgaria, fires were reported in more than 100 locations. The mayor of this village says it would have all been lost if not for the volunteers who pitched in to try and control the flames. Elsewhere in Bulgaria, a security camera captured images of a very persistent arsonist lighting a fire that grew very quickly. About 100 firefighters worked through the night to protect homes and a local school. This video helped police track down the suspect. A BC man is in hospital tonight with serious injuries after his sudden encounter with a grizzly bear. Georgie Smythe tells us how his wife's quick action may have saved his life.
Popular riverside trails are now no-go zones after a frightening grizzly attack near Creston, a town close to the U.S. border in BC's southeast, where husband and wife were e-biking Saturday afternoon along a network of paths in a valley. Locals say the town's mayor.
They came around kind of a blind corner, and they were right on those bears. The bears were on that trail. And the attack happened very quickly.
Thankfully, the woman was prepared and fast to react.
She saw a bear run past her, and then she heard her husband yelling, and she came upon the other bear attacking her husband. So she used bear spray on both bears. First, the bear that ran by her, and then secondly, to just help stop the attack.
The man was moved to this hospital where he got surgery for significant injuries. Every year, British Columbians call in grizzly encounters by the hundreds. Numbers fluctuate, but serious attacks are uncommon. In this part of the Kootenays, the grizzly population has grown after conservation efforts. Education, like how to use bear spray, is key, say those working to keep bears and humans apart.
And we want to make sure as we develop and grow that we are aware of how to deal with such situations and are aware of what's when we go for a cycle or go for a walk, what should we be looking out for and how do we prepare?
This attack brings that home for residents.
Sometimes I don't make sure that I have my bear spray, but I will be now. Yeah, always be aware. You have to be aware. We live in a forest.
When I'm hiking, yeah, sometimes I sing out loud or something, but yeah, that'll send any bear running the other way.
Conservation officers say it's likely the couple startled the grizzlies and that the attack was defensive, so the bears will be left alone. Georgie Smythe, CBC News, Vancouver.
Elections Canada will be using a special ballot in the upcoming by-election in Alberta because of how many candidates are running, well over 200, many of them pushing for electoral reform. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is hoping to pick up the seat in Battle River Crowfoot after losing one near Ottawa. Instead of the typical list-style ballot, voters will be handed one like this to write in the candidate of their choice. The full candidate list will be available at polling stations. Another gold medal race today for Canada's Summer McIntosh, putting her one step closer to her Grand Slam goal of 5 golds at the World Aquatic Championships. Ali Chiasson shows us how she's doing and how she got there.
She's a cool customer.
Welcome to the summer of summer.
It is the great Summer McIntosh.
We'll see what McIntosh can bring it home.
McIntosh takes another gold medal.
She is 2 for 2 in her pursuit of 5 gold medals at one championship swim meet. Who's done that before? Oh yeah, Michael Phelps. Canada's young phenom, Summer McIntosh, at just 18 years old, is already leaving her heroes like American Katie Ledecky in her wake.
Lots of Summer McIntosh.
It all started here at the Etobicoke Swim Club in Toronto's West End.
I don't think there's anybody who's been involved in Ontario swimming who doesn't remember a young Summer McIntosh.
She stood out early.
It's a lot of Summer McIntosh.
She's been hard to catch since. Ask someone who's swum alongside her.
She's always been swimming at such a high level, even when she was like 10 or 11 years old.
Summer McIntosh.
By 14, McIntosh was competing at the Olympics in Tokyo.
McIntosh, no.
At 16, winning 3 gold medals in Paris.
She's put in the work. It's go time now.
So far, at the World Aquatic Championship in Singapore, McIntosh has got the gold in the 400-meter freestyle and the 200-meter medley. Still ahead is the 200-meter butterfly, which she holds the Canadian record for, and the 400-meter individual medley, which she holds the current world record for. Saturday's 800-meter freestyle race could be a tight one.
Katie Ledecky is not only the world record holder in the event, but she set that world record only 2 months ago.
CBC Sports' Brittany McLean-Campbell says Summer has what it takes.
Going up and down the pool is all she needs to focus on.
Whether McIntosh gets 5 golds at Worlds, as manifested by her manicure,
I wanted to do 5 gold just for a little bit of bling.
Her impact has already made quite the splash.
How lucky are we to just watch her soar?
Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Toronto.
A Toronto woman suffering from a painful and chronic condition is fighting for treatment.
If I don't find the money to do surgeries because they're not available in Canada, then I'm going to become unable to walk.
Why Canada does not cover surgery for a surprisingly common but misunderstood disease. Next. Plus, more companies want employees back in the office.
I have to go on site. I would prefer work from home. If the job can be done at home, they should be allowed to stay at home.
What's behind the move to reduce remote work? And later, what happens when deepfakes get personal?
How does it make you feel that these AI generators can kind of just take your entire personality, essentially, and turn it into another video?
It feels very violating.
The push to protect your online identity. We're back in 2.
But what I noticed, Canadians complain when it's hot and complain when it's cold, instead of enjoy the heat.
Okay, love it or hate it, the heat has been extreme in much of central and eastern Canada. This muggy Monday extended well into the central U.S., all thanks to a strong ridge of high pressure sitting over southern Ontario. The heat should break overnight, except in southern Ontario, where it is expected until Wednesday. A Toronto woman suffering from lipedema is speaking out tonight about a lack of treatment options in this country for a common chronic condition that often causes painful fat buildup. While there's no cure, surgery can improve quality of life. But as Michelle Allen tells us, in Canada, it isn't covered.
My swelling is so hard, my calf doesn't move.
Helen Papadolius says managing her stage 3 lipedema is a full-time job. She gets pain and swelling from the fat deposits that are building up in her limbs. Papadolius needs to constantly wear special compression garments.
So maybe instead of becoming immobile in 5 years, maybe it'll take 10, 15 years, unless I get the surgery.
Researchers estimate that lipedema could affect 1 in 9 women, but there's no extensive data to say how many in Canada may be affected. As it progresses, it can make it hard to bend your legs, stand, or walk. The condition is believed to be genetic.
I just put it on.
Papadolius says her doctor recommends surgery, but it's not available in Canada. Dr. Caitlin Sear is a family doctor in Winnipeg. She says lipedema is often mistaken for obesity.
There is good evidence that surgery is an effective treatment.
Germany just announced it will publicly cover surgery for patients with all stages of lipedema after a study proved that surgery helps.
And then, of course, there's our
Advocates like Emma Cloney say Canada should follow Germany's lead.
Patients, unfortunately, live with disability, chronic pain, leave the workforce early, and in some cases, apply for MAID.
Manitoba says it will meet with Lipedema Canada to discuss further support. Ontario says it doesn't cover lipedema surgery because it's considered experimental.
If I don't find the money to do surgeries because they're not available in Canada, then I'm going to become unable to walk.
Papadolius says she's considering traveling to Greece to pay for surgery out of pocket, as she can't afford to wait for changes at home. Michelle Allen, CBC News, Toronto.
More Canadians are being called back to the office.
A lot of workers push back against the narrative that you need to be in the office in order to be productive.
Next, why corporate Canada wants fewer employees working from home. Plus, the moment a Toronto teen meets her hometown hero. Music superstar, The Weeknd. Plus, the campaign to crack down on deep fakes.
That was the first time that I have seen, at least, an AI-generated account take my video, my whole words. I didn't even know it was AI.
Denmark wants to give its citizens the power to protect themselves from digital forgeries. So what about Canada? The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping your world. Next. New data suggests the majority of Canadians prefer working from home. This comes as more companies push for employees to return to the office. Nisha Patel has reaction from workers and what to know if you're asked to come back.
Trains are packed and sidewalks crowded as more companies require workers to return to the office.
I have to go on site. I would prefer work from home.
A new Angus Reid survey says 79% of Canadian workers say they'd prefer remote or hybrid work. Out of those who have been asked to be back on site, 51% are upset or very upset. 32% say it didn't make a difference. Only 17% were pleased.
A lot of workers push back against the narrative that you need to be in the office in order to be productive because the pandemic taught us that, in fact, we can have business as usual.
But in a tougher economy, workers have less leverage.
There is more opportunity for employers to sort of compel workers to do what the organizations want.
4 of Canada's big banks are reining in remote work. Employees will need to work from the office 4 days a week in the fall. Starbucks, too, its CEO telling staff, "We are reestablishing our in-office culture because we do our best work when we're together." And Rogers is reportedly asking workers to be in the office full-time in the new year.
If you are recalling your employees, you do need to give pretty substantial notice.
This lawyer says workers need to take a close look at their contract if they're unhappy with return-to-office mandates.
If the term is in your contract that this is a fully remote position, it's clear. Your employer can't change that term of your employment.
Workers have been vocal about the benefits of hybrid schedules, saving them time, money, and offering some work-life balance.
I think if you're a professional and you're objective-driven, then it's much better that you give people the flexibility to be where they work the best.
While the tides against working from home may be turning, workers will likely find it tough to give up. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. As Canada's affordable housing stock dwindles, BC is offering relief to renters through an innovative approach.
This is a homelessness prevention tool.
We'll break down how it works and why some say it's counterproductive. But first,
it feels very violating.
Deep fake creators exploiting your online identity, using AI to mimic your likeness or your words without your consent.
The AI person looks just like a real gentleman.
So how do you fight back? Denmark's proposed copyright-like law may provide a roadmap. Ashley Fraser breaks down what Denmark is doing and the implications here.
So it's no secret that AI videos are everywhere, right? If you're on Reels right now or TikTok, you've probably seen a few already today. But what happens when your image or voice is used without your permission?
That was the first time that I have seen, at least, an AI-generated account take my video, my whole words. I didn't even know it was AI. This is a miraculous story. And so
Ali Palmer is a content creator who usually makes videos about her life as a mum. But recently, journalists with NPR reached out to her to tell her they believed her content was being ripped off and replicated using AI.
That man jumped in without hesitation. The fact that the boat is going this way.
They told her that based on this video, her voice and mannerisms were being used by an apparent AI-generated character.
In a pool in the open ocean after falling. The AI person looks just like a real gentleman who is just saying what I said, right? He was speaking in his voice, but saying everything I said, word for word. Even the intonation in my voice. This is nothing short of a freaking miracle.
This is nothing short of a freaking miracle.
How does it make you feel that these AI generators can kind of just take your entire personality, essentially, and turn it into another video?
It feels very violating. Right now, it's very low risk scenarios for me and my family. If it ever were to be something more scary, I would hope that TikTok would have a better response to mitigate the situation.
Now, we've seen countless examples of celebrity deepfakes. Or content creators' likeness used to sell things.
Girl on here who put me onto Nature's Empic was to wear, "You're gonna be snatched in the face. The waist all the way down, baby, but y'all, it's like a natural laxative."
And CBC's visual investigations team uncovered that a Canadian pharmacist is the key figure behind the world's most notorious deepfake porn site. Now, one bill in Denmark is hoping to address these issues of creating deepfakes without a person's consent. It wants to allow its citizens to copyright their digital identities, which would make it one of the first attempts to do this. In an interview with The Guardian, Denmark's Minister of Culture says the bill sends a message that everybody has the right to their own body, their own voice, and their own facial features.
That means that they effectively have ownership about how they appear in the digital world.
The experts we spoke to say this particular bill takes a different approach because it would use copyright law to regulate AI.
It's saying to make this future-proof, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of provide a new foundation for how we think about how we own and control and protect our likeness in a world where it can be easily cloned.
Once passed, IDA says the moment someone's likeness has been used without permission, any citizen will then have the right to ask a social media company to take it down, or they could face a fine. There are some caveats though.
So violating copyright is not something that the state is necessarily going to prosecute a perpetrator for. This is something that you would be expected to bring a civil case to.
It's not clear if the responsibility will be placed only on the platform, and whether social media companies could take action on the users that actually post these videos. There's also an exemption on satire and parody, which IDA says could raise questions about what is satire or not. And one lawyer tells me that likeness is not often used in copyright law.
It is a bit of an odd fit to try and recognize likeness rights under copyright, because traditionally copyright relates to creations of specific forms of works and really does relate to, original works.
The bill is expected to pass through Danish Parliament in the fall. But that left us wondering, how does this compare to Canada's AI legislation?
We don't have any sort of hard law, like enforceable laws, regulations that are specifically about AI.
Now, Attard Frost says the government has made a lot of voluntary commitments when it comes to the use of AI in multiple sectors. But Canadians are still waiting on a formal act, like the EU AI Act, that entered into force last year in Europe. We reached out to the Ministry of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation about Canada's plans for AI regulation. They said while existing digital safety laws provide some important protections, we know they were not designed with generative AI in their initial creation. They also said they are reviewing existing frameworks, monitoring court decisions, and listening closely to both legal and technological experts. This includes watching what the EU and UK are doing when it comes to regulation. We also asked the Minister of Justice about Prime Minister Mark Carney's election campaign promise to criminalise
producing and distributing non-consensual sexual deepfakes.
In an email, the spokesperson for the Minister of Justice said the government is committed to making the distribution of non-consensual sexual deepfakes a criminal offence. This is a priority for us, and work is underway to ensure the law reflects that. Now, back to Ali Palmer. At the time of recording this, the video is still active on TikTok. After the NPR investigation, this AI-generated label was applied. But we asked TikTok why the video hasn't been removed. They didn't get back to us with a statement, but a spokesperson shared TikTok's copyright page, which suggests Palmer could file a copyright infringement report to TikTok. They didn't say if that would lead to the removal of the video.
If passed, Denmark's copyright law would only cover Danish citizens, but as Ashley showed, it could be a framework for other countries. A new BC program aims to keep rental housing accessible.
This is pretty much the only place I have that I can afford right now.
But not everyone's on board. Lindsay Duncombe investigates the controversy next. Affordable housing is disappearing across Canada, but BC's Rental Protection Fund is offering hope for some renters.
This is pretty much the only place I have that I can afford right now.
Preserving affordable housing units by taking the keys of old rental buildings. Now, last month, Lindsay Duncombe spoke to renters aided by the program, but critics say the province shouldn't be buying up buildings, but building more.
Many renters across Canada live in fear.
It was scary because we didn't know what's going to happen with the building. Maybe we'll lose the apartment.
As corporations buy up older buildings,
I'm so sorry.
Anxiety grows for families living in them.
You're worried about being on the street?
Yeah.
British Columbia is spending public money to help save buildings, keep rents low.
This is a homelessness prevention tool as much as anything else.
Critics say it's a waste, getting in the way of building new homes the country so desperately needs.
It's a terrible idea. It's better to take the money and throw it in the ocean.
In many Canadian neighborhoods, there are buildings like this, located in Burnaby. 41 homes right where the suburbs meet the city of Vancouver. Built in 1970, the building is showing its age. But the people who live here care about the place. There's community. I'm here to meet two mothers living one floor apart.
Hi, Marlene.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm Lindsay, CBC News.
Marlene Ozuna Felix has lived in this one-bedroom apartment for 8 years.
This is our little living room here.
She receives income assistance and is on a wait list for subsidized housing.
There are 3 children?
3 kids, yes.
Her kids are 9, 8, and just 7 months.
Where do they sleep?
They all sleep with me.
Yes.
I only have a 1-bedroom. As you can see, everything is so
cozy.
cramped up, yes. So we could just come out here.
The baby is sleeping, so we go to the patio.
How much do you pay for rent now?
It's $936.
$936 for a 1-bedroom apartment in Vancouver.
1 bedroom, yeah.
You can't find that if you look online.
I have to stay here. This is right now what I can afford.
In fact, the average rent for a one-bedroom in Burnaby is more than $2,300 a month. And it's not just BC that's expensive. Check out how fast rent has gone up in the past 5 years. In 2020, the national average for a one-bedroom was just over $1,500 a month. Now, it's more than $2,200. When Felix's building was sold, she worried the new landlords would try to find ways to evict lower-paying tenants so they could charge more rent, or even demolish the building to make way for a new, higher tower.
My biggest fear is to be on the street with my kids, right? Because this is pretty much the only place I have that I can afford right now.
So you were worried about being homeless?
I try not to think about it, but I'm sorry. Try not to, because I have 3 kids, right? I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
Just upstairs, more anxiety. Eliona Schutte, her husband, and their baby share this one-room apartment. He's an electrician. She's on maternity leave.
And sleeping.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
How old?
It's 3 months and a half.
They pay just over $1,000 a month in rent.
It's such a small space, but it's great.
It's small, but it's enough.
So tell me about the building being up for sale. What was that like?
It was scary because we didn't know what's going to happen with the building. Maybe we'll lose the apartment.
What would you have done?
I just don't want to think about it.
Eviction rules vary from community to community, but the fear of having to pay higher rent is real. Just look at what happened to affordable housing across the country from 2011 to 2021. 550,000 units gone. And that doesn't even include units lost in the last 4 years as Canada's population grew.
We were losing 4 to 5 affordable units for every 1 new unit that we were building. The most affordable housing we have is the affordable housing we've already got.
Enter British Columbia's Rental Protection Fund. Katie Mazalechko is the CEO.
Nonprofits come to the fund and they first have to pre-qualify with us. They're able to access our funding that provides them with the investment that they need to still secure a mortgage, but keep the rents where they are so that they can stay affordable.
Here's how it works. Back in 2023, British Columbia announced it was getting back into the affordable housing business to the tune of $500 million.
This fund is going to preserve affordable housing for renters across BC for many years to come.
But it wasn't buying buildings or becoming a landlord. Instead, nonprofit corporations could apply for taxpayer money they wouldn't have to pay back, all so that nonprofit corporations could buy older buildings and operate them with conditions, maintain the buildings, and keep rents low so people can stay.
It's the teachers and nurses and people that make our communities run, but are so often left behind by everything else out there. You know, they do often make a little bit too much to qualify for subsidized housing, and you also see that with folks on a pension.
In 2022, nonprofits in British Columbia accounted for just 2% of multifamily purchases in BC. That's gone way up. Last year, because of the fund, nonprofits had purchased 1/3 of those properties.
Right across the province, every corner.
Each building marked with the painting on the wall at the fund's downtown Vancouver office.
We were in that one right there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's right. That Burnaby building was purchased by the nonprofit organization Aunt Leah's Properties. The low rent stays.
I came to my husband and was like, hey, listen, this is not for profit. It means that our rent's not going to go up or they're not going to evict us, right? So it's such a relief for us. It was the best feeling ever. I mean, that's perfect. You know, there's a lot of people like me, even worse than me. I mean, not everybody can afford housing.
But there's a catch. Not everyone thinks it's a good idea to use government money to save affordable rental units, because money that's used to buy older, smaller buildings like this is money that's not being used to build more and build up.
It's counterproductive because its stated purpose is to actually make sure we build less.
Andrei Pavlov is an economist with the Siegel School of Business.
This kind of fund and these ideas to protect rental buildings, they sound good on paper because you can see people who live there and you obviously don't want to disrupt them. But then the cost of that is that everyone else who is trying and wants to live in that area, they really can't because we are not building enough.
He points to this Coquitlam apartment building, one of the first purchased by BC's Rental Protection Fund. It's near public transit, an area zoned for high-rises.
It's nice, it's functional, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a 4-story building in a place that should have really 40-story buildings.
As for displacing renters, Pavlov says the communities should follow some jurisdictions, such as the city of Vancouver, that mandate compensation and relocation for people who lose their homes.
That would be a good use for a rental protection fund, so protect the renters.
But for Mashalenko, that is the waste of money. The building costs more than preserving.
You are spending significant dollars, not like just in the capital costs alone to construct something new, but then to subsidize it to $1,000, you're spending significant public money year over year over year.
This is an important debate because the new federal government has promised to directly invest in building new homes.
Build, baby, build.
And has also promised a fund that looks very similar to what's happening in BC. The Federal Rental Protection Fund promises $1 billion in low-interest loans for nonprofits and close to $500 million in grants. The first applications were due last month.
What's happening is that if you don't mind the
When it comes to affordable housing, Simon Fraser University's Andy Yan says the problem started decades ago when the federal government stopped building and turned the vast majority of the industry to the private sector.
We've allowed housing to become an asset, to become a hyper asset. Their business models is to extract the highest amount of rents as possible.
From your perspective, is it sort of like then the government let the private industry take over and now they can't rein it in?
It's not only allowing private industry to take over, but how it became an accomplice, how governments have become an accomplice in this housing system that serves a particular population of investors who are able to get in the game early.
So it's working for the rich and the lucky.
He sees rental protection funds as part of the solution, but perhaps not a game changer.
You need policies that both conserve housing that's both affordable and livable, and then also the need to build housing. But I think in building that housing, it's how that housing needs to meet the needs of those you're trying to house.
For the people living in the Burnaby building, there is relief these days.
This is our home. Wherever we go, it's like, Mom, I want to go home. I love it here. This is the place that I made my little bundle of home.
It makes me feel safe. I know that I have a place where I can sleep and I can raise my kids.
In fact, when Shuti and her husband learned they could stay in their studio, they decided to start their family.
So if you hadn't had this place at this price, you wouldn't have had Zion?
No.
For a handful of families in a handful of buildings, the future isn't quite as scary because they get to stay home.
Coming up, a Toronto teen meets her hometown hero.
He's the reason that I've ever thought that I could ever make it out and ever become an artist or ever sing, you know?
Her winning Weeknd in our moment. This is a group photo taken during a private ceremony in Toronto on Saturday when The Weeknd was awarded the key to the city. He was honored for his charity work, and students from his former high school and a local community center were there to cheer him on, including one 17-year-old girl who always dreamed of meeting her hometown hero. And tonight, that moment is our moment.
It was pretty surreal. I got to meet The Weeknd, aka Abel Tesfaye. He was being given the key to the city, I believe. So rumor has it that he came to the recreational center and stuff like that. I heard that he's helping us build something for like recording studio kind of thing, like in the center. he's the reason that I've ever thought that I could ever make it out and ever become an artist or ever sing, you know? As an Ethiopian person, you don't see a lot of Ethiopian people in the industry. It made me realize that I can do that as well. So I think that was the most eye-opening part, and that's where I connected the most. It was like, if he can do it, so can I.
So cool. Not only did she get to meet him, she was able to sing for the superstar. And it didn't end with the meet and greet either for all the teens in that photo. They got to watch him perform live in concert. Now that's a moment they will never forget, and representation matters. Thank you for being with us. I'm Asha Tomlinson. Take care.